Sometimes I stop on my way home and watch the children play, and I wonder if they wonder what they'll be someday. Some will dream a big dream and make it all come true, while others go on dreaming of the things they'll never do. We're all just seeds in God's hand. We start the same, but where we land is sometimes fertile soil and sometimes sand. We're all just seeds in God's hand. I saw a friend the other day I hardly recognized. Well, he'd done a lot of living since I last looked in his eyes. He told a tale of how he'd failed, the lessons he'd been taught. Well, he offered no excuses, but he left me with this thought: we're all just seeds in God's hand. We start the same, but where we land is sometimes fertile soil and sometimes sand. We're all just seeds in God's hand. And as I'm standing at the crossroads once again, well, I'm reminded we're all the same when we begin. But in the end, we're all just seeds in God's hands. We start the same, but where we land is sometimes fertile soil and sometimes sand. We're all just seeds in God's hand. We're all just seeds in God's hand.
Give me that bread for my journey. Give me that bread for my journey. Give me that bread for my journey, Lord. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, it's good enough for me. When I went to the valley just the other day, hallelujah, it's good enough for me. My soul got happy, so I stayed to pray. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. I put my hand to the gospel plow. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. I don't need much for my journey now. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. You'll give me that bread for my journey. Give me that bread for my journey. Give me that bread for my journey, Lord. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, it's good enough for me. When the seed is planted, it's like to die. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. And it comes to life and it grows up high. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. It yields a crop 100-fold. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. for my journey, Lord. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, it's good enough for me. Jesus is the bread of heaven. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. The Spirit comes like holy leaven. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. Eat this bread and never die. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. When life will fill you from on high. Hallelujah, it's good enough for me. You give me that for my journey. Give me that bread for my journey. Give me that bread for my journey, Lord. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, it's good enough for me. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, it's good enough for me. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah, it's good enough it's good enough for me.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3. There is an appointed time for everything, a time for every event under heaven, a time to give birth and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to throw stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. There's a time to search and a time to give up as lost. There's a time to keep and there's a time to throw away. There is a time to tear apart and a time to sew together. There's a time to be silent. There's a time to speak. There's a time to love and a time to hate. There is a time for war and a time for peace. There is an appointed time for everything, a time for every event under heaven.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. As part of our stewardship campaign, our youth have been involved in some video projects, including the one you're about to see, which is a puppet show about the Last Judgment. I hope you enjoy it.
Wow.
Hi, Lily.
Who is that?
This is God.
Really? Where am I?
Judgment Day. This is where you look back on your life.
Oh, you mean where I get to watch a movie of my life? How are we going to do that? That's my cell phone.
Exactly. Hello, Mitchell.
Hello, who is this?
This is God.
Oh, really? Where am I?
Judgment Day. This is where you look back on your life and see what kind of life you lived.
No problem. I have a great social media presence. Everybody likes me.
Are you sure that everyone likes you?
Positive.
And you've been nice to everybody?
Oh, absolutely.
Are you sure about that?
Absolutely.
Let's check your email to be sure what you're saying is true.
Okay, no problem.
Let's check your trash.
Who are you?
I am God.
Really? I thought you'd be bigger. Whoa, what am I doing here?
Today is Judgment Day. Today we will look back at the decisions you've made throughout your life.
No problem. I went to church my whole life. I even gave some money. I'm a really good person.
Are you really?
Absolutely.
Let's check your Snapchats and Facebook.
I was just kidding when I said that stuff. I mean, nobody got hurt by it.
Are you sure?
Nope.
Welcome, Larry.
Where am I?
This is Judgment Day.
You mean the movie with all the aliens?
This is the day where you look back at your life. See what kind of life you lived.
Oh yeah, don't you have a book with everything in it or something?
Yes, and here it is.
Isn't that my checkbook?
Exactly. Hello, Patricia.
Hi.
Do you know why you are here?
No.
Today is Judgment Day. Today we will look back on your choices throughout your life.
Oh.
We are going to review your life. It's all recorded. We can look at your checkbook, Snapchat, email, and we can learn all about you.
It's not necessary. Lord, have mercy on me, a sinner.
Welcome home.
So one of the big questions, religion goes like this. If we come at religion as human beings versus theologians, right? Theologians, we come at religion from the perspective of ultimate questions. What is the nature of the divine, right? Or like that. But just as ordinary people, we all come at religion from the perspective of who am I? Where did I come from? What does it mean? What am I doing here? Do I have a future? Is there a purpose to my life? Is this it, or is there more? Do I become something, or am I all I will ever be? That's the kinds of questions we ask. And then, of course, the sort of big and final question, the one that haunts us, is the question about death, which, by the way, is actually two questions. One question is, why? Why do we die? And the other question is more like, does our dying mean anything? And the reason we ask questions like that is because death has a way of sort of challenging the value of life. Death is sort of an annihilator of life. That's what it is. And so it has the feel to us like it negates a truth. Like something that meant something suddenly is stopped, and that's the end of it. And so that becomes a problem. Now, for those of us who are people of faith, one of the things that we have come to believe is that death does not mark the ending of life, because life continues for eternity. And so we believe that life matters precisely because it keeps going. Because there will never be a time when it is true that it won't matter what we did here today. Okay, there will never be a time. So as people of faith, we believe there will never be a time when it won't matter what it is we do here today. And so the things we do here today matter forever. We believe that. And so that changes how we look at these things. But it's still, and if we ask the question, the theological question, so, but why? Why do we die? Why not just skip that whole part and keep going? There's at least two guys in the Bible who are described as having skipped that part and just kept going. Why can't we all do that? By the way, it's Enoch and Elijah, so in case you were wondering. So we're like, why do we need to go through that death thing? Well, the Bible just puts it this way. The Bible says that the reason we die is because it's the natural outcome of our own brokenness. As Paul put it, the wages of sin is death. Let me put it another way. Eat too much sugar and fast food, and you have a heart attack, right? I mean, that's, this stuff just happens. This is the outcome of choices that we've made both as individuals and as a species. So for us as people of faith, when we ask that question of dying, for us, what does it mean? It means we get to move into heaven. It means we get to experience the resurrections. So for us, the really struggle question, the really problematic question, is different than maybe someone who doesn't share faith. Someone who doesn't share faith, they go, death just seems like a big wall and a void and something that just puts it all, puts the lie to everything that their life was. But for us who are people of faith, our question about death and dying is not really so much about why, but why now? Why now? This is especially true when the person who dies is very young, or has a lot of family, leaves behind young children. We say, why now? That's what bothers us. Why now? And it's hard for us to wrap our mind around that and to find comfort and peace in that. And even if there is a detailed theological answer to that question, it wouldn't make us feel any better. So the question is, how do we find a place where we can stand as people of faith, can stand in the face of death, even the deaths which are shocking because they come at the bad times, and go, For me, the answer has come in the experience. I mean, I've been with a lot of people in their moments of death. Okay. So I remember it was the last funeral I did before I came here to be your pastor. And it was this really great couple. They had just retired, both of them, and they were ready for their retirement life to begin. And she had a massive heart attack, and she died. I mean, I was literally there in the ER when they're trying to revive her. I was there when they called the death. And And the question was, why now? I mean, we just retired. It was just beginning. We were just about to start this whole new phase of our life. Why now? That was the question. But I can think of another, oh man, I've seen this way too many times too. People who are dying and it's taking a really long time. And the question is that we're asking is, why not now? You know, what's taking so long? I got called, this lovely lady was dying, and it was taking a little while. And I was there, and I said to her son and her daughter-in-law, now this woman was quite old, okay? I said, are you guys ready to pray that God calls her home? Which I know seems weird to you to pray for someone to die, but there's a graciousness in this moment. I said, are you ready to pray? Because they're asking the question, the why now, the why not now? What's taken so long? That's the other question. They're asking that. What's taken so long? And they said, yeah, so we prayed. Asked God to take her home. And then I left, and about 45 minutes later I got a phone call. Almost as soon as you left, her breathing changed, and she faded away, and now she's died. And that particular kind of moment, you understand something that's hard to understand in the other moments. But if you can understand it there, you can at least recognize it always. You can understand it pretty easily in that moment when finally she'd gone. And then when we come to the question, the why now deaths, we can at least recognize it, even if we can't find as much comfort in it. But it's this thing that we as people of faith hold to and believe. There is an appointed time for everything, a time for every purpose under heaven. There is a time to be born, and there is a time to die.
Come out of sadness, wherever you've been. Come broken-hearted, let rescue begin. Come find your seat, sinner, come kneel. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wanderer, come home. You're not too far. So lay down your hurt, lay down your heart, come as you are. There's hope for the hopeless and all those who've strayed. Come sit at the table, come taste the grace. There's rest for the weary, rest that endures. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can cure. So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wanderer, come home. You're not too far. So lay down your hurt, lay down your heart, come as you are, come as you are, all in His arms, come as you are. There's joy for the morrow, sinner.